The 18th presidential election was on November 4th, 1856. This election consisted of three parties. These were the Democratic, Republican, and American parties. In this election, 168 years ago, was the first election that was held by the same two major parties that would run the government for the rest of the United States history. The Democratic Party chose Minister to Great Britain James Buchanan as their presidential candidate, and former representative for Kentucky's 8th District, John C. Breckinridge, as their vice presidential candidate. The Republican Party was founded in opposition of the Kansas-Nebraska Act. This act made it so the new state could vote on whether it would be a free or slave state. This ended up with thousands of hardliners moving to the state to call themselves a citizen and vote on the topic. But as it would make sense, with thousands of political headliners on opposite sides flocking to one area, they began to fight each other. This led to the event called Bleeding Kansas, where 200 people were killed. The Republican Party chose former California Senator John C. Fremont as their presidential candidate, and former New Jersey Senator William L. Dayton as their vice presidential candidate. The American Party was the Native American Party, but rebranded. This party actually outperformed the Republicans in the midterm elections before and were classified as the Democrats' main opposition. After the Whig Party collapsed, most of their supporters shifted towards the American Party. The party was divided on the topic of slavery, though. The American Party chose former President Millard Fillmore as their presidential candidate, and former envoy to Prussia, Andrew J. Donelson, as their vice presidential candidate. The Republican Party campaigned on halting the expansion of slavery. The slogan was "Free speech, free press, free soil, free men, Fremont, and victory." They called for Kansas to be admitted as a free state to stop the violence within the territory. They opposed the annexation of Cuba. They believed the slavery went against the purpose of the founding of the United States. On the other hand, Democrats wanted Kansas to be admitted as a slave state, Cuba to be annexed, and the expansion of slavery. James Buchanan ended up winning the election. He won 45.28% of the popular vote and 58.78% of the electoral vote. This was the worst performance on the popular vote since 1824, and the worst electoral vote since 1824.